when you're doing something very quickly, and then having to recover and do it again, you're training the body to recover in between those sessions, and you're pushing it beyond those comfort zones. So your body's having to catch the oxygen levels back up again, recover the muscle back up again very quickly. Then you go again. We find that to be superior as far as getting in shape. That's really the best way to get the body in shape. It's not these long 45-minute cardio sessions. It's these short 10, 15, 20-minute training sessions where you're going fast and resting and fast and resting. And these intervals like that of high intensity, that's more beneficial than any type of slow burn would be.
It's Ultra Life Today. I'm Josh Bellieu. You've heard the subject, cardio, all your life. I remember it. I'm 64 now, and I've heard of it forever. It's a buzzword, but did you know there's different types of cardio? One they call HIIT, high intensity interval training. What we've done again is we brought in our friend, Todd Scarborough, 5-time Mr. Arkansas, maybe even going to ramp it up and do that again in the future. Gosh, Todd, it's so cool to have you back again, brother.
It's always good to be on with you, Josh. Thank you so much. And this is a subject area that is rather confusing because cardio, what are you trying to do? What is your end goal? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to get in shape and increase your heart rate and your heart's ability to be in shape, your lungs, whatever it may be? All of that differs depending on what you're looking for in a cardio workout. So very good subject.
So on another show, you mentioned to us that an incredible thing to do is to walk for an hour at a pace that is not really going to elevate the heart rate, because you even mentioned being able to carry on a conversation with someone. Now, is that a form of cardio?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's try to define cardio in some ways that will help people, because I think most people, like me, think about getting on a Stairmaster at the gym and just beating myself to a pulp for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and again, that's what most people, when they hear the word cardio, that's what they think of, is blowing out, just going as fast as they can. Now, the cardio that we're talking about, an hour workout or an hour walk, that's slow pace, that you can hold a conversation, that's the best litmus test for that, is to be able to hold a conversation.
Okay.
Meaning you can talk, you can catch your breath. If you can't hold a conversation, you can't talk, that means you're going a little fast. And most people would think, isn't that better that I'm going fast? Not necessarily. To lose weight, the best form of cardio, to lose fat, I should say, is a long, slow walk, about an hour, where you can keep your breath at the same pace. You're just going for an hour and walking, moving the body. Best time to do that is after a dinner meal, after your last meal, go for that walk for an hour. That's the best form of cardio for burning fat that we know of. Now, is it going to get you in shape to run a marathon? No,
right.
By no means. And so it's a different form of cardio there as far as getting in shape. But as far as fat loss is concerned, the ideal cardio is not this fast-paced stuff. It's a slower pace, longer burn process from what we found in science. I mean, it's been proven.
Okay, so if I'm going to try to get that version of cardio in while I'm at the gym, how does that translate if I'm on a treadmill or if I'm on a stair climber or something like that? What would be my gauge for that? Because in my mind, it's certainly easy for me to think about going on a long walk and being able to carry on a conversation with somebody. How does that translate into getting on equipment in the gym?
Well, and in that particular case, I would think as far as walking is concerned, a treadmill to try to burn calories probably, is kind of a waste, that you could go outside your house and walk
enjoy
for an
nature,
hour.
Of course.
But yeah, enjoy nature, absolutely. But as far as the cardio that you're talking about in the gym, the old adage is, do you go this long pace of like 60 minutes where you're going at a moderate pace and running or whatever it may be, or even 30 or 45. Now we know that getting in cardio shape, that's not the ideal.
Okay.
The ideal is this high intensity interval training, meaning that you're going very fast for a very short period of time, all out, fast as you can go. And then for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, resting, recovering, getting your heart rate back, then going again. And this cycle only has to be maybe 2 or 3 off the front end cycles like that. And then over time, you'll get better at it. But think about what that does. When you're doing something very quickly, and then having to recover and do it again, you're training the body to recover in between those sessions. And you're pushing it beyond those comfort zones. So your body's having to catch the oxygen levels back up again, recover the muscle back up again very quickly. Then you go again. We find that to be superior as far as getting in shape. That's really the best way to get the body in shape. It's not these long 45-minute cardio sessions. It's these short 10, 15, 20-minute training sessions where you're going fast and resting and fast and resting. And these intervals like that of high intensity, that's more beneficial than any type of slow burn would be.
All right. So I have to say to our viewers that are going to get really excited about what you just said, if you're not used to running really quickly on a Stairmaster, start out slow and build up to do these intervals that he's talking about. You know, it's interesting, Todd, because it was probably 20 years ago to me that I heard this whole idea about interval training. And for some reason, brother, it made sense to me. I was like, I hated the idea of these 45 and 60-minute things. So I remember I was going to the gym at the time, and I would like crank up that Stairmaster, and I would hit it hard for like 45 seconds maybe. I would just exhaust myself in 45 seconds and then stop. And I loved that. And I could repeat that, you know, kind of out of the gate about 4 or 5 times. And I felt like, man, that's all I need. Would a person actually want to do a bunch of that? I mean, why would a person do more than 3 or 4 of those in a row? Would a person ever want to do 10, or would that just be for an elite level athlete doing something like that?
Yeah, well, there's a sliding scale in life that, you know, these athletes and everyone has to kind of go by, is that where do you want to fall in that scale, in that sliding scale? Do you want to be very fit and put your life in a position where you're wanting to reach this height of shape,
right,
and have no social life? Well, that's way over here to one side. I mean, that's essentially what it's going to be. Or do you want to have a social life and have that as well? So really, when you ask that question, I think people, again, I constantly say this, Josh, and I've said on other shows with you here, merge into that lane. Right. I take all my people and make sure that I take them in slowly to this. I don't want them to get sore. A lot of these people, these trainers want them to they want to beat them up and get them sore the next day to prove something. I don't want you to I want you to just barely be sore. I want you to feel a little bit. But I don't want you to run off on me. I mean, most people wouldn't run off if you beat them up that much. So it's merging into that lane. And then doing what, like you said, 4 or 5 for you, and you felt it. Really where to stop on these things. And it's going to be limited based on where you are. I mean, if you've done it a while, then you'll be able to do more, obviously. But when you get to that point where your form is sacrificed because your fatigue is rising, that's when you stop. So the minute you start, the fatigue is more so than your control of the form of that movement. That's when I tell people to stop. That should be your limiting factor, because that's where injuries take place now, is when you are fatigued and you're pushing yourself beyond those comfort zones. That's where the zone where injuries take place. So it's always better to err on the side of caution. When you get to that point where you're fatigued and you're not able to keep the form in that activity, stop. And that's plenty. As far as numbers are concerned, that should increase as you do it and as you get in better shape.
So can you remind us some of the actual benefits that are taking place in an individual's body when they're getting cardiovascular type exercise? What's going on? What's going on in there? I mean, I would, well, I'm sure it's millions of different processes and functions happening, but what are some things that people can sink their teeth into and go, you know, this is really going to help me into old age, or I'm going to be more healthy with my heart? I think we always think of heart, but is that the main goal, or is there other ancillary benefits there?
I'll give you an analogy before I answer your question that I think is the best analogy. Okay. So if you buy the car from the little old lady that drove it to church on Sunday and only drove it 30 miles an hour and 2 miles to get there and back, first thing you do when you buy that car is take it out on the freeway and you blow it out.
You certainly do. That's exactly
right.
You
open it up because you got to get the gunk out of it.
You're reminding me of my teenage years.
Yeah. And boy, we loved to do that back then, didn't we? And now I just drive the speed limit. But the point is that you have to, like, I had a car that I set up at a farm And let's set this car up for 3 or 4 months, had my mechanic come over, it wouldn't start. He just said, oh, there was just junk in the carburetor. He said, when's the last time you started this? And I said, oh, it's been 3 or 4 months. He goes, oh, no, you got to start them every week. You got to get out and run them. And I thought the human body is the same way.
Exactly.
I mean, it is something that does require this maintenance of movement. And there's so much that relies on it. You ask the benefits of cardio workout. Boy, but this show would be an hour and a half long if we covered all of them.
Okay.
But the basics that you get, obviously better heart condition because you're forcing that heart to pump and move, the circulatory system, being able to flush things in and out and bring nutrients in, pull inflammation and trash out. That's a big part of it as well. Mentally, we could go into the mental side of cardio, what it makes you feel, the endorphins that happen, the endocrine system in the brain and the responses that come there from serotonin and dopamine. I mean, there's all of this is proven. This is not something that's my hypothesis. This is something that is a physiological fact that come from it. So if the benefits from a cardio workout could be bottled in a pill, it would be the most widely prescribed medication on the planet. By far, because the benefits that you get from a cardiovascular workout or any movement of the body like that and challenging the body it's the best overall medicine that you could give yourself. Absolutely.
Well, you've absolutely got me fired up again about doing cardio. And one of the things that I love is I used to always have to try to remember that arithmetic formula about weight and stuff for the fat burning thing. And you're just like, now just take a walk after dinner and with somebody and that you can talk with and it will, you don't have to remember any more arithmetic problems about how to burn fat. I love the fact that that's the easy way to burn fat. And it's this basic cardiovascular event that all of us should be doing just to enjoy life better, to decompress, to kind of reduce stress and anxiety, is to take a walk after dinner. You're always bringing a wealth of information, Todd, when you come with us. You really do need to keep us up on this idea. Would you actually compete again? Is that a thought process for you?
Oh, yes. I'm looking actually at July. I'll be 60 in July. I turn 60 then. And I will be in another division, over 60 division. And I really feel like I still have, I mean, I'm sitting here at 5'8.5" at 230 pounds with muscle and at 60 years old. So why wouldn't I? As the athlete in me, I think I want to challenge and I like that, and I'll never shut down and I'll keep going. And it's just about, to me, it's almost like it's not optional. It's the workout and all of that and staying. It's not an option. I don't get up and say, do I go or not? I go. It's like brushing my teeth. And I've been doing it so long now that I don't know what I would mentally. I think it's more of a mental sanity for me than there's any physical benefits that come from it, for sure.
Well, we're going to expect you to completely mop up the over 60 division there in Arkansas. We really appreciate you coming on, Todd. Everyone, Todd Scarborough, 5-time Mr. Arkansas, a wealth of information for you, practical bite-sized steps. As he says, merge your life into these things. Don't try to do all or nothing like I used to do. Take it slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Todd, thanks so much. This has been Ultra Life Today. I'm Josh Bellieu.